Take them.
Thanks for that.
Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, and welcome to Salam Cafe. It's great to be here. It's the last episode of Ramadan, and I'm looking forward to Eid, but we'll get onto that a little bit later.
I thought you were going to say it's the last episode of the season.
No.
Not yet. Okay.
Maybe next week we'll say that. A lot of interesting things happen during Ramadan, and I know, Waleed, you've got something out of the box, as to say.
Yeah, I do. It's some good Ramadan news. Well, interesting Ramadan news anyway. Everyone's favourite family, the Simpsons, have finally moved into the Arab world, specifically for Ramadan. There's a TV network based in Dubai that have taken on the show, and they've dubbed it into Arabic.
Serious?
They've got like Egyptian actors, and they're not speaking classical Arabic, they're speaking like that Egyptian sort of slang thing. And they've changed all the names. Homer has become Omar.
Omar. With the accent,
Yeah,
Omar.
Bart has become Badr.
Beautiful.
And the Simpsons, they can't say Simpson because there's a P in it.
Oh, there's no P in the Arabic language?
Like Pepsi.
Yeah, they can't say P in the Arabic language. So what do they call them? The Shamsuns.
Very nice.
This is something that the Guardian in England reported and was picked up in the Age, and just read about it a couple of weeks ago. So phenomenal news. Who would have thought that would be the Ramadan gift?
So, Waleed, you're Egyptian. How do you say dough?
Egyptian slang. I don't think you do.
I think it's international.
Yeah, that's right. Don't transcends all.
I want to hear Marge Simpson say, "Ya Habibi," really low voice that she has.
Does she wear a scarf over that big hair?
Oh, but Homer, because they're screening during Ramadan, they've made it so that all the scenes where he's drinking beer and eating pork chops are not going to be screened.
No,
So well, he can't drink that now. He's Homer. He's not Homer.
He can't. We have to go to Salam Cafe to go, where they're talking about iftar, of course, breaking a fast. So let's go have a look at that.
It may look like I'm holding an accessory for a girl's hair, but it's actually a clip to keep your skull cap on, because we're actually here at the Leo Beck Centre. That's the Centre for Progressive Jews. It's a synagogue in East Kew. And just so happens that people from the three major monotheistic religions, Islam, Christianity and Judaism, have come together to share in a feast. What do you reckon, Verity?
Yeah, well, we're in the month of Ramadan at the moment, and so we're going to break our fast with...
Yeah. I think it also happens that we're in the middle of the 10 days of penitence for the Jewish people. So it seems pretty exciting. You want to hit it on in?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's...
Now, for a whole month of the year, every year, Muslims fast every day from sunrise to sunset. حي على الصلاة أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا Shvarim Rua Tikia Gdola.
As the mother of the son who played the... Can you play that instrument as well?
No.
Oh, what a shame. So I was going to ask you if you could just demonstrate for us.
No, I could get him back again if you want.
So what have you learnt about tonight's event, or what have you found out about it?
I think I've really developed a much better understanding of the similarities between human beings and how sometimes our fear forces us apart because of our ignorance.
I'm just here with Michael Taft, and he's actually the shamus of the centre, the synagogue. What does that mean?
The shamus. Okay, the shamus is the person who, behind the scenes, assists the rabbi and or whoever's organising any particular function, perhaps like this one, to make sure that it always functions smoothly and that there aren't any hitches.
Assalamualaikum, Asha. Assalamualaikum.
What are you drawing here? What's this?
No, it was just interesting learning about the different spectrum of belief within the Melbourne Islamic community, and also the different backgrounds of people within the Melbourne Islamic community.
Moderates of all faiths seem to have a great deal in common, and I hope we can keep that.
So, Jess, you're wanting to involve yourself in an interfaith dialogue with Muslim students, is that right?
Well, yeah. I belong to the Australasian Union of Jewish Students, and our big focus is going to be trying to engage Jewish and Muslim, and among other students, in interfaith dialogue both this year and in the coming year. So,
what have you learned about today's event?
I learned that Judaism and Islam are really similar, and I learned a lot about different religions. It's really cool.
Okay. Just here with Uncle Jerry. He's the head organiser, or one of the main organisers of tonight's program. So how much time went into organising this?
Well, when you're changing history, it just happens in a flash.
I just wanted to know, what have you learnt about tonight's event, or what have you gained from tonight's event?
How much there is in common between Islam and Judaism.
I'm just here with the Leo Beck joker. So do you have any jokes for us?
Oh yes, well, if you want a Jewish joke, it's the story of Abi sitting in his little shop. He's got counters, bills on all sides of him, and he's wondering how he's going to pay them. And the phone rings and a voice says, "Is that the ANZ Bank?" And he says, "What a wrong number you've got."
Top quality.
So have you had a fantastic time tonight?
Very interesting indeed. It's awesome. All that I've taken in about Muslims and Jews, and I like them both. It's an introduction to me.
I reckon that woman's right. It was awesome. It was a great day, and it was quite a unique event, really, because it wasn't just because it was Ramadan and they have iftar. It was also it's a really sacred period in the Jewish calendar, because it's there's a 10-day period, I think, between Rosh Hashanah, which is their new year, and Yom Kippur, which is a really holy day. And so that's a really sacred period, and there was overlap with Ramadan, and so it was that's really rare that you actually get that sort of overlap.
So it wasn't like the Jewish people said, we want to have a breaking fast with you. They were actually celebrating.
Yeah, it was like
at the same time.
Both coming at once. So that's why they had presentations about about Yom Kippur and so on, and there were presentations on Ramadan.
What was that long thing?
It's a ram's horn.
Oh, that's good.
Because rams have these really big curly horns, but they straighten them.
Wow.
Well, as you saw how, not
straight, but it was quite long.
Yeah. And
Is that a real
he
ram's
was
horn?
just fantastic.
Real ram's
I
horn.
could tell by the response from the crowd.
Definitely, it is a real ram's horn.
That's amazing too, how the languages are so similar, because in Arabic, Ras Hasana, New Year, and then in Hebrew it's Rosh Hashanah. It's the same sort of words, and then Yom Kippur, and then in Arabic Yom Kibir, which means big Kibir day, Yom.
It's a big day.
Very big.
So,
day, but big.
So it's amazing, the languages. I had some Jewish guys at Union, we'd compare notes, and the languages are so similar.
And we have to go to a break now, but I reckon just for this show we should call it Salam Cafe, just to just to finish off.
To really break down the barriers.
Exactly, fantastic. We'll be back in a moment, and Salam Cafe, Shalom Cafe, whatever you like. But that looked like a great event. It was fantastic. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Salam Cafe. We're very honoured tonight to have with us Sheikh Fehmi El-Imam, the Imam of the Islamic Society of Victoria, Preston Mosque. And actually he's my father as well. I have to publicly announce that, and I'm very proud of the fact as well. So, Sheikh, Dad, whatever you like. Yeah, Pops. I'll probably get a backhander when I get home. Got a few of those in my days, but that's another story. We want to talk tonight about Eid coming up at the end of this week, and Eid. You came to Australia in 1951. Now it's 2005. Eid must have changed tremendously over that time. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the changes, some of the differences that you've experienced?
Well, early in the years, in the 50s, we used to prepare some hall we hired in main part of Carlton, and we have various members of the Muslim community from Bosnia, from Albania, from Lebanon, and from India and Pakistan, and some Cypriot Turk at the time. So we used to hire a hall and pray in that hall and do the takbir in that hall and enjoy the cosmopolitan atmosphere in the Eid prayer.
How many people are we referring to here when you say you hire a hall?
Oh, between 400 to 500 people.
That's the whole community?
Most of it, yes. But that's what you can get in touch with. They are dispersed here and there.
I know that you still know the address of that hall.
No, actually, the hall is a different part, but the place we are referring to was the first house we have bought in the name of the Islamic Society of Victoria, and that one, 1008 Drummond Street, North Darwin.
I can't believe 54 years and you still...
Well, I mean, how could I forget it? Because it was a first place we have bought, and we used to have a small Islamic school for Saturday and Sunday. We used to have the long hall inside that house where we used to play Jummah and Eid and all activities in that big room.
So this is before we had any mosques? There
was no mosque at that time.
Back when we played Jummah in a closet?
Yeah. Actually, after that we have bought the land, which is where the Preston Mosque is at the moment. It used to be a land and big one with the old house in the center where the owner used to live, and we used to pray sometimes Friday prayer. Why? Because the number is so small. We used to come 1, 2 or 3. Well, wait and see. Is there any fourth one come in? If the fourth one comes, we'll pray Jummah. If no fourth one comes, we'll pray Zuhr. That's what that used to be. But the Eid prayers used to take place on the grass outside the hall because the hall is too small over there. We used to lay a lot of plastic papers and the people sit down and do the takbir, and all the cars passing by in Tram Street looking at what these people doing, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, etc. And used to deliver the khutbah from there, and the kids behind, and it used to be very nice activities after the Eid prayer finished, and a lot of festivities and a lot of food and a lot of sweet to be shared with everybody. So those all had to be done at the time when there was no mosque in Melbourne.
Did you imagine, Sheikh, at that time in the 1950s and 60s that the Muslims would become what they are today? There's thousands, like wherever mosque you go to, there's so many thousands of Muslims, especially during the Eid time, that go out to the mosque.
Well, that's why at that time, as our number was very small, we used always to dream. Will we have a mosque one day? Will we be able to build a mosque one day? We couldn't think of school, we couldn't think of other Islamic centers, but God willing, we have done, alhamdulillah, wonderful things nowadays, from no mosque whatsoever to 40 mosques around Melbourne nowadays.
Wow. Melbourne only, that is.
Now, the other Eid, this Eid we're celebrating now is the end of Ramadan. The other big celebration for Muslims is the one that coincides with the pilgrimage to Mecca, which is always about 2 months after Ramadan. And tell us about the first time like now if you go at pilgrimage time to the airport, you'll find lots of pilgrims there in their special clothes going to Mecca. What was the first Hajj group from Australia like going to Mecca?
The first big group we have organized from Melbourne and Sydney together, and the number was practically 350 people going from Melbourne and Sydney at the time, 102 or 5 from Melbourne and the rest from Sydney. So that was the first big group together who have gone from, it was a history at the time, but it was the first time such big group has gone from Australia to perform Hajj and come back. And it was excited very much indeed because the organization is a lot to attend to and things to offer for the people who are with us. And this was our first experience, in fact, at the time. Even we knew Hajj before, but this is the first time the organization has to be attended to a very big number of people and to look after them over there.
I remember I went, my first Hajj, I saw you there, and it was just great to see a familiar face and someone who knew what they were doing. it was great.
Well, because you certainly didn't. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what happened when you have an Imam there to look up to for questions, for finding out what to do next, what to do next day, what to do next morning, things like that. So, of course, you need some guide to help you in the Hajj. Otherwise, people goes blind. They don't know what to do over there. And so they need the help of an Imam to show them what to be done in the next step, next morning, and the tips from here and there.
I guess it's like having a Mellows in person. It's just a person, not the book that you're referring to.
Somehow.
Now, Hajj is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You have to do as a Muslim, go at least once in your life. Would you have any idea about how many times you've gone once in your life? Because I know you've been a couple of times, but...
Well, actually, I mean, I cannot, I lost count how many times I've gone. But the main part that we have done, the obligatory part of it, which is the first time. Whatever you do after that is sunnah, which is additional. So everybody is expected to carry to do the first Hajj, and then whenever there is a possibility to add something to it, fair enough. But you don't have to anymore if you cannot afford it. You don't have to borrow money to go there for the second time. You don't have to borrow money at all at any stage. But nevertheless, whoever has got enough money to take him there, bring back and look after his family here at the same time, so he is supposed to carry out his duty to go and perform the Hajj.
Now, speaking of pilgrimage, I remember back in the lead up to the 2000 Olympics that you were one of our famed torchbearers who carried the torch all the way. Where did it start? From Athens? Came all the way to Sydney? No.
From Kilmore, wasn't it?
The torch. Kilmore, Athens, yeah. And you...
I lived in Athens for 1 month to look after the people who brought from Lebanon to Australia when we shot one plane.
There was no torch there?
Nothing to do
with
it.
Sorry, I must have got that bit wrong.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, you got to carry the Olympic torch, didn't you, during the 2000 Games, or before the 2000 Games?
Well, actually, I did. Someone has put my name and they have accepted it. So I said, why not? I will go as a Muslim who is sharing the Olympic Games. And I did my lot in the area outside Melbourne. And it was practically half a mile to walk from one to another. And I share with that, and I've got still the remembrance of that. It's a torch that I bought it for $350.
Oh, you kept the torch?
I've got the torch.
Oh, that's unreal.
That's my torch.
You should have brought that in. It's become the Salam Cafe torch.
Yeah. Quickly, before we run out of time, also the ICACH, the Islamic Community Auxiliary for the Royal Children's Hospital, Sheikh Fehmi, you were instrumental in organising that. How was the dinner this year?
Well, actually, as you have mentioned it now, we have also started something new. in the Muslim community. We worked with the Royal Children's Hospital in the beginning, but now we have formed the foundation, which is called the Australian Islamic Foundation. And the foundation so far, in the last 2 years, have raised more than $300,000 to the Royal Children's Hospital. And this is a great thing indeed in the name of Muslims in Victoria. And this year, we're still counting actually. I cannot give you the figure, how much we have gathered, what we raised in the last 18th of September. Yes, we have done also the third fundraiser night, and God willing, we'll have good enough time to give some to Royal Children's Hospital. We added this year something new, which is helping orphanage, one in Bangladesh, one in the Horn Africa, and one in Lebanon. So activities within Australia, activities outside Australia, this is something which people, it is appealing to the people to do that.
I think I have to say that the Sheikh has been doing activity from the day that he arrived, which is May 15, 1951. I remember the date. I wasn't there, of course, but I remember the date vividly. Thank you very much for coming in. I believe you're off to Hajj this year. May Allah accept your Hajj, and Jazakallah khairan, and we'll be back in a moment. Thank you very much.
You make it the news of everybody.
Welcome back. Now, it's always a pleasure to have Sheikh Fehmi on the show. He's just, I don't know, celebrity.
Is that because he's your dad, or?
No, not because. But did anybody notice that I didn't say anything? I was just starstruck. I was like, oh, wow. I mean, this guy's been here since 1951. It's amazing.
And I've got to say, I didn't say anything because I've known Chef Fehmi since I was a kid, and he taught me on Saturdays, so I was very scared to interrupt him.
There's a neurologist called Dr. Brain, so it's like an Imam called Sheikh Fehmi Imam. So Imam by name and Imam by nature, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, fantastic. Let's move on. We always in section 3 have our email of the week question.
But not this week, because since next week is the last episode, we thought there's no point giving another question, and then so we're not going to do that. We're just going to continue the one that we already had, which is on the website, and it's basically tell us what you are guaranteed to see at an Eid prayer. Just the most crazy things that are there every year. We want to hear about it.
Fantastic.
Actually, I got to say that it's almost in Ramadan. I was breaking my fast before we came on set, and I was at an unnamed Portuguese chicken place because I can't plug any. But actually, and half the people breaking their fast were Muslims, and you could just tell because everyone had these plates of food in front of them, and they were all waiting there for the time. But obviously, everyone had different calendars, so everyone's waiting for someone else to eat. So someone's eating a chip and feeling very guilty. I think there's got to be consistent calendars as the timings for Ramadan.
It's like when you go to visit someone to break fast, and you say, "Oh, what time's fast breaking?" They go 6:48. You go, "No, my calendar says 6:42." Don't worry about your calendar.
6:42's right.
Exactly.
You're on your own, buddy.
You should get the little radios that give the azan right on time. They're great.
Right. He's been a favourite man in our house, the other man at the club. We come here that Allah, everyone's going, oh my gosh, I'm excited.
I'm just trying to come to terms with this image of people at a restaurant sitting there with all this food in front of them, just
looking at it.
Can you imagine if you didn't know what was going on and you saw these people just looking at their food and looking at each other?
You probably think you get full just by smelling the food.
It was amazing how many Muslims were there, though. It was just unbelievable.
Well, you said about how half the crowd were Muslim breaking their fast. I want to know what the other half were doing. Were they also breaking their fast as non-Muslims?
No, I think they were voluntarily eating it. But they serve halal chicken. That's why I think there's so many Muslims there.
Got the crowd in there. Yeah. It's coming up. Eid is probably on Thursday this week. And on the following Saturday, the 5th and 6th, there's a couple of Eid festivals going on, one in Preston and one in Broadmeadows. We'll put a link on the website. It's a great time. It's open for Muslims, non-Muslims. Everybody's welcome. Come and celebrate.
And
we'll put a link.
Kebabs there too.
I usually have about 4 on that day. So guys, I think we all need to be down there having a good time.
You should make it something like Spot the Salam Cafe crew.
It's a bittersweet celebration because next week is the last episode for 2005 of Salam Cafe. So join us next week for our big end of season episode.
Shebang. It's always that time of year when at the end of Ramadan it's such a holy time, spiritual time, you're enjoying it, but then it's also like But Eid's coming and the kids get all excited, and, you know, my kids are just, you know, checking out all the catalogues that are coming in, because all the Christmas stuff's coming in, and they're circling PS2 and Game Boys and things, and they've got it all worked out.
So what's that thing with the really big price tag?
I try to rip out a couple of pages beforehand, just before they get to it. So
The thing with Eid, the one thing that gets me every year is that first thing you eat on the day of Eid, because you've just been fasting.
That's right.
1 month of fasting. It doesn't matter what's happening.
Do you feel really naughty, like you're doing something wrong?
You sort of, is this right?
It's daylight.
we have to go. Eid Mubarak to
Eid Mubarak to everybody.
Selamat Hari Raya.
Turkish?
Bayramınız mübarek olsun.
Oh, say Turkish. Assalamu alaikum.
كل سنة وكل عام وانتم بخير.
That was really fun.